Hello, my name is Zenzela. I'm 18 years old from and living in South Africa, and this is my homeschool debate. I believe homeschooling is a solution, and I think it should be acknowledged as such. A solution for the issues which plague our primary and secondary education sectors, and further, as a plan of action for unpredictable times such as natural disasters, hurricanes, typhoons, volcanic eruptions, to name a few, and for conflict and civil wars, also for children with special needs, and in other circumstances for educating girls. It was reported in the news that in Bay County, Florida in the United States, 26,000 students were displaced by the turmoil caused by Hurricane Michael. I believe countries could change this. By presenting homeschooling as an option, especially to those in their final year, it would minimize the disruptions incurred due to the damage on infrastructure and would minimize the trouble with adjusting in the aftermath. This could be taken into consideration where a plan of action is not as easily implementable and it may take longer to recover because of the nature of the disaster. Did you know that in newly industrialized countries, over a third of girls are illiterate? This demographic is 2.5 times more likely to be forced into child marriages than their well-off counterparts. This is most prevalent in the rural areas of NICs like Bangladesh, Ethiopia, India, and Niger, to name a few, which, according to World Vision, are amongst the worst for child marriages. Child marriage, like the other issues I highlight here, is known for its complexity. There is no one cause for it, and it could range from a variety of things like gender equality, inequality, to tradition, to poverty, but at the crux is education. And 3 aspects of education are highlighted as the main reasons why girls are left out of schools. These include limited education, quality education, or opportunities for education, and also the lack of adequate infrastructure. The girls in rural communities are more likely to drop out of school and be subjected to low-paying jobs and exploitation, making them more susceptible to violence, abuse, and exposure to a variety of health risks, according to UNICEF India. Quality education and gender equality are 2 important sustainable development goals. For poor families, though they may see the need to educate both their girls and boys equally, priority is often given to the latter. Homeschooling, which is affordable, I believe should be offered as part of the government education system to these families for their girls, where they would have the opportunity to study at their own pace whilst they fulfill what's expected of them within the household. This way, they would gain the qualification they need to progress further in life and secure better futures for themselves. It is known in some developing countries where patriarchy is dominant and known to overlook and demean the rights of girls or women, it hinders them from gaining knowledge and information they need. Homeschooling, again, I believe is a solution. It can be tailor-made to suit individual preferences and needs, and can be designed in such a way that it doesn't infringe upon laws, culture, or your religion. This way, women would have the ability to get the education that they deserve. Through the UNHCR, we learned that of the 65 million displaced persons, over half are children. And it is incredibly vital that they gain a good quality education. In some refugee camps, it's been observed that the student-teacher ratios are 70:1, and only 4% of that class is able to read. This is rather disturbing, especially when I know that homeschooling could provide the attention that they need to be able to grow as learners and produce better results, as well as strengthen ties within the community to ensure the best possible success of every individual. And likewise, in some parts of rural China, children with special learning needs are more vulnerable and likely to be used for child labor. Through homeschooling, they can be in a protected and safe environment, and for them to be able to learn and not be coerced into human trafficking of any nature, not only in these parts of China, but in others like Belarus, Russia, and Venezuela, where human trafficking is inauspiciously high. War is not the making of the child, but it is they who are worst affected. By offering homeschooling as soon as conflict arises or any type of disaster, be it natural or unnatural, it should be considered as an immediate plan of action, so children could avoid falling behind in school, like they did in Syria and Libya, where because of the civil war, they lost out on over 3 years of schooling. And now, personally, the value of homeschooling is ineffable. You develop integral time management skills as well as organizational and study skills, and you're more proactive and active in your community. You're more likely to engage in cross-generational dialogues because you have that opportunity with the less rigid structure. And as someone once said, the best classroom in the world is at the feet of an elderly person. So in connection to that, we are able to understand a lot more and mature in a different way, I suppose. There's also the advantage of not being influenced by societal opinions and views on certain matters. I know it may take a lot more discipline and a lot more motivation, but it's such a positive change that it's really worth it all. If education is a solution to complex issues, then I believe homeschooling should be discussed equally. It's an historic solution to our modern problems and possesses a unique ability to unlock a vast amount of potential with such successful results. And here I'm talking from experience. I hope you can see it for the solution that I see it as, but better yet, I hope you can experience it for yourself, for the richness and the depth that it brings. In the words of our former leader, Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. So why not start here and now? Thank you.